This is Young Trader. It is hump day, which means it is crude day. Now, the API report came out last night, and wow, crude had a build of 6.5 million barrels. Gasoline had a draw of 5.7. Distillates had a draw of 2.5, and Cushing had a small build of zero point 0.4. Now, remember, the EIA report will be out today at 10:30. We'll see if it all confirms. All right, we'll take a look here at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, crude oil, and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation by selling stock market ETF. Please like, subscribe. Thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin. Now, remember, we're right here in the thick of this earnings season, so there's a lot of earnings coming out this week here, so you got to stay really, really sharp. Now, remember, we have a big sell-off there yesterday. Right now, the Nasdaq's down about 100, but just remember, you got tax selling going on, like I've been trying to tell you. You know, that it's not going to run up forever. You got a little tax selling here, but look for opportunity to buy, and then we can take this thing long again. You know, unless you're a two-way trader like I am, then it doesn't really make any difference what direction it goes. Okay, let's take a look here at Bitcoin. Now, yesterday we hit this low all the way down here at 99,250, okay? Today we hit a low of 99,285, so we have ourselves a higher low. So all I say is always look to the left of the chart. So we're watching this level here, okay? That's 101,390, got a little bit lower. Again, watching that level, 108.15, and then we're watching this level right here at 99.90, okay? So that was your support level. See how that works, okay? Now, if we keep right on going down here, okay, kind of a situation, then what we do is we just look here, we look right to the top, bottom of that candle, looking at 97,350. We'll look to the top of that candle, you're looking at 93,735 level. Then we just bring these price channels right across, okay? So how nice that works, 93,685. We'll bring this one here right across. Level here, we're sitting right there at that 91,785 level, okay? Then we come right here to the top of this candle here. You're looking at that 89.20 level if it keeps right on rolling until you get all the way down to the down to the retest, all the way down here at that 74,635 level. Now, not saying where it's going, but I say just always look to the left of the chart because where it's been is always usually where it's going. So yesterday I say we had that low of that 99,250 level. I say again we were watching that right there at 99.90 level. Okay, see how nice that it held. Okay, so far today we have this higher low situation. Let me bigger up a little bit here again. There we go. Now you're talking. Okay, so what we're watching on the upside is watching today's high, 102.705. But realistically, this is what we're watching right here is this 200 SMA. You're looking at that 104.270. You have to get back above it. Now, we did have this bottom of this candle here, which is 103.745. That's going to be your first level. And then we come up to that 200-day 104.270. Then what we do is we just march this bad boy right up here. Okay, so you look at the bottom of that, 105.755 a level here. We come right there. You got 106.210. A level here, then we'll come up top of yesterday's candle. You're looking at 107.77, 70, and then right here is that 8-day at 108.310. Now you can see how the 8-day here curled down, 21-day crossed the 100-day and 50-day. That's curled down. This is going to provide very, very strong resistance. Just look in the past when that price is below that 8-day, how it goes in until we can get back above it to take it higher. Okay, so again, what you're watching today on the upside is watch that retest of this candle right here. Okay, that's going to be 103.745, and then watch that 200-day at 104.271. Okay, and then we just march it up, but your big target is going to be that 8-day simple moving average. Now, again, obviously, you can get above that. Then we have that 111, 145, your 21-day, and then we have 113 level, that's 50-day, and then we have your 100-day right above it at that 113.697. Okay, now we didn't really get to an oversold condition, but again, you don't always have to either. And then green is below your red. You can see where the momentum is to the downside. Now we had this higher high and higher high situation, but it just never could hold, and then we just came right on down. But we held that 200-day nice. Now, once we lose that 200-day, that's going to be strong resistance going to the upside. On the downside, just watch yesterday's low. That's going to be very, very critical, that 99,250. And then right here is going to be key, is that 99.90 level. Okay, if not, we're going to venture right on down, and we could hit that all the way up to that 96 level. Okay, so again, you know, always look right to the left of the chart, because that's going to be all your big time support levels. But this one's going to be very, very key on this candle right there, okay? Now, on the upside here, okay, if it does rally up here, don't be afraid here to take some profits, okay? Because I say if you can't get above that key level, that 103.745, and that 200-day, then you're just going to bounce up here and come on down. Now, again, I never like it when that you would blow that 8-day and that crosses over, and that crosses over. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. So again, we could have some nice sideways action here. So it could be a nice, good trade. Now, again, easy way to trade this: IBIT for the long, BITX for like it's a 2 times, and then BITI worked really, really nice yesterday on the short side. Okay, so basically right now what we have is a two-way trade here until we can get finally actually put a bottom situation in. Okay, so right now we have a higher low. Okay, so we have a higher low than we had yesterday, which is good, but we got to see how far this can actually go back on the upside. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Alrighty, here we have gold and here we have silver. Now you can see here, bear flag came right on down, and now look at that 8-day, how strong that is. Okay, so right into it, and now we're into this thing again. Okay, so bottom line is 8-day is everything. You have to get above that 39.85 if you can. We come to yesterday's high. You're looking at 40.18. We'll come up top of there, 40.43. We'll come up there, 40.59, and then we'll be looking for that 40.95. That is your 21 SMA here. Obviously, we get above that, then we go to these next levels here. You have that 41.59, 41.75. You go onto this level here. But again, that 8-day, you have to get back above it. Now, on the downside here today, we put this low in of 39.35. Yesterday's low was 39.37, so we made a little bit lower low. Now, what you're really watching here is going to be right there. It's going to be that 39.01, and then right here is this going to be this 50 SMA at 38.83. This is very, very critical for support levels. If we lose this sideways consolidation, we lose that 50-day, you got a really good shot at taking it, going ahead right for that 100-day at 36.29, right down here, even down to that 200 SMA here. Okay, but right now here, look at the RSI. You're sitting pretty much right in the middle. That's not overbought, oversold. The green is below your red. You can see a momentum to the downside kind of a situation. But okay, now you can see where to see the little red bars, how they go moving right on up situation. The key is you have to get back above that 8-day. Then we can go head for that 21-day. Now, for me, how I'm trading this is very simply. Okay, if we can get above this 8-day situation, I might take that GLD and take it back up to that 21-day. Okay, or what I do is I might just even wait until we get above a close above that 21-day. I'll miss a little bit, but then again, once we close above that 21-day, then we got a really good shot at retesting that 43.98 level. Okay, so don't force it. Let the trade come to you. Okay, silver, pretty much the same thing. Okay, so we had this bear flag situation, pulled right on down, bear flag situation, came around down, rallied right on up here. But look where it went. Look at that 21-day, how strong that is. And now they're doing the same thing as gold is, right below that 8-day. Okay, so that's going to be key on the upside, 47.56. You get above that, we go to yesterday's high at 47.96, and then we come right up there to that 48.88. That is your 21 SMA level. Okay, so that's what you want to do, is that's what we're going to be looking for, is that 21-day. Okay, now get above that, yeah, then we can start marching right on up here. You have that 49.22, then we can just venture all the way on up here. But again, you got to get above that 8-day and that 21-day. So for me, there isn't enough spread here between there and that 21-day. So what I'm doing is I'm waiting for to close back above this 21-day. I'll miss a little bit, but I'll jump in the SLV, and then we'll take that thing back up to that 53.76 level. Okay. Now on downside here, well, right here, this 50-day is going to be everything. That's that 45.85 level. We got to really hold that. Then we can come down here to that 45.51, which is basically just the bottom of that candle. But it really needs to hold that 50-day. We start losing that 50-day. Then we have a good shot at retesting this 41 level on the 100-day and even at 200 SMA here. Okay. RSI sitting pretty much in the center, no big deal. The green is below your red, so it shows momentum, but you can see how the bars are now starting to move up. The key again is that 8-day. Key again is that 8-day. Close above it, and it close above that 21-day, then she can run higher. If not, we got sideways action here. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil. All right, here we have the crude oil. Okay, now it had a pretty big build in the API report, so we have to see if it confirms. Now, again, I showed you this pattern. We have a left shoulder, we have a head, and we have a right shoulder. Now, the shoulder is pretty much extending out here, so eventually this will just work itself right on out here, where that pattern won't be affected more. But if it does rally up here, okay, and that does flip over, that is going to be your big target, is going to be that 66.42. Right now here, we're stuck right here between the 8-day, that 60.67, and that 21-day at 59.91. Now, we lose that 59.91 to 21-day. You're going to come right here at 59.64 level. We'll come up there, 59.11. We'll come up there at 58.08, to the bottom, 57.34. We have 56.35, and your retest 55.96. Okay, just that simple. But you got to lose that 21 day in order to retest this. Upside, easy. 60, 67. You get above that, we go to today's high, 61.01. But we're really looking for that 61.76. That's your 50 day. The retest, 62.92. And then we have 64. Then we have 65. Then we have your big retest up there at 66.42. Right now, we just have this sideways action. This was, see, left shoulder. This was a left shoulder, but now we're just keep on extending it. So this pattern just might not play out, kind of a situation. And if we lose that 21 day, okay, on a closing basis, that would negate that whole inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now we're going sideways here, 49, pretty much right in the middle. The green is over your red. We just have a sideways action. So it's really like a whole lot of nothing here, kind of a situation. So it basically, for me, it's just small trades, SCO for the short, UCO for the long. But let's just see how the EIA report comes. But again, the key is going to be closing above that 50 day, because look in the past here, okay, could not do it. That's the key, closing above that 61.76, then we can sit and rise higher. Now, really, look at that seasonality chart. Crude really is not in play here for about the next 6 weeks. Okay, it just, it's just, this is in the time frame. And then it usually rallies up the first week of December, till the first couple of days there of January, and then it kind of like a flat squeeze sideways till about February, and then that's where you buy going into summer driving. But again, you can still make two-way trades here. But let's just see how they shake out. But right now we are just like a descending situation. We have a descending chart going on. So just watch that 21 day on the downside and that 8 day on the upside. All right, let's take a look here now at natural gas. All right, here we have natural gas. Now we have a nice low, higher low, higher low, higher low situation, and all your simple moving averages moving up very, very nicely. Now we had this big gap up. It's not on supply and demand. This was on the contract roll. And you notice that if you're trading like ETFs, UNG, KOLD, or BOIL, they didn't even move, okay, because the contract roll doesn't move them, okay? So now we had this really nice, good run up here. But as I always say, is when it gets outside these blue lines here, see that? That's your price channel. When it gets outside of blue lines, is eventually it's going to come in, just like what we had here, and then it came in, okay? When it got outside there, it came in, and that's what it's doing right now. We have low consolidation. So right now, so far today, we have an inside day. Your high and low is the inside of the previous day. So we're looking at yesterday's high, okay? So you're looking at that 439 level there, okay? So what we do is we just go up to the next level here. The next level is going to be that, what do we have? I think we had, 442. That's going to be your next level on the upside. And then we'll come up there at 447. And then we have 455, 458, and then we have the big retest up there at 490, okay? That is going to be your big retest. Now, on the downside here, you want to watch, obviously, is yesterday's low. That's at 4.18. We'll come right down to the bottom there. You have 408, and we'll come right to the bottom there. You're looking at 401, and then we're going to start getting right here to this 8 day at 392. Now, that should provide some very, very good support if it does come down to this area, okay? Now, you can see where the 21 day crossed over the 200 day, 50 day crossed over the 100 day. So this looks very, very bullish chart kind of situation. But now we start to get to that overbought. But some of these charts here, just understand that when you gap up like that, it also gaps this right on up here. So you're not really getting a true reading of the charts kind of situation. So I always let the time to get shaken out. But basically what I'm doing, just scalping the UNG. And then I'll scalp it today if we can break and crack above that 4.39 level, because then I think we can hit that 490 level. Okay, that's what we'd be aiming for. But right now here, just watch yesterday's high and low. That's going to be the key. 439 on top, 418 on the bottom, and then that's what we're going to be trading against. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here after the midday trading. We'll take a look here at some stocks, and we'll see, if it's going to be. Yesterday we had that turnaround Tuesday, went right to the downside. But again, just look for opportunities. There's always opportunity. All right, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.